everyone. I hope you all are doing fine and are taking care of yourselves. My name is Kanika Tandon and I'm here with the video of Class 8 English 2nd. Today we are going to do the explanation part and the question answers of poem For You, a Democracy. Starting our today's video with the explanation of the poem For You, O Democracy. So first, let us read what is written above the poem. What do you understand by the term democracy? Let us read this poem by Walt Whitman, in which he expresses his idea of democracy not just as political system but as way of life. Although he writes about America, the companionship and oneness he writes about apply to people everywhere. So before starting the poem, let me tell you what democracy is. For example, if we take example of India, India was not a democratic country because Indians were not allowed to take their own decisions or to decide who they want to give the country to, like whose government is going to come, who is not going to be the prime minister, who is not going to be the president. Before, we used to work under British government, right? So the Britishers were the only authority who could take some decisions regarding our people. If we take a very clear example, I would like to tell you about Adolf Hitler. He was a German dictator who used to take decisions, very harsh decisions for people of Germany. So Germany was not a democratic country because they could not take their own decisions. So democracy in short means when you want to take your own decisions and you can, right? So here this poet Walt Whitman, he expresses his idea about democracy. Though he writes about America, but this poem is especially about everybody in the country who is still not democratic. Okay. Come, I will make the continent indissoluble, which means that the poet here tells that he wants to make the place that has no end. I will make the most splendid race the sun ever yet shone upon, which means he wants to make the place so good that that sun has put his light upon, which in short he means that he wants to make a place worth so beautiful that anybody has ever seen. I will make divine magnetic lens. He wants to make the place attractive and beautiful with the love of comrades, with the lifelong love of the comrades, which means, and you know what is comrades? Is the people who die, who fights and dies in the war for their own country, right? Those are comrades, and in short we also call them patriots. I will plant companionship thick as trees along all the rivers. He wants to plant friendship among people of America and other countries also, and here they have used a simile like as trees along the rivers, which means like when if you have seen the rivers that are along the trees that are along the river, those are very strong. Even if flood comes or some other natural calamities come, they don't come out of the ground, right? So they want the people to they want people to be so strong in friendship that any calamity can come, but it won't ruin their friendship. America, and along the shores of the Great Lakes and all over the prairies, I will make inseparable cities with their arms about each other's neck. Here, he wants to uh, make people so deep in friendship that they will go hand in hand together. Not even just some people. He wants this companionship among all the cities in America, especially in America and the North American grasslands too, by the love of comrades, by manly love of comrades. Here also he can only do this with the help of the soldiers. He can only do this with the help of the comrades, people who are actually willing to do this with him. For you, these from me, O democracy, to serve you, ma femme. For you, I am thrilling these songs. And here, this is an ode from him to the democracy, that he wants to do all of this just for democracy, just to serve democracy in his own country. And only for democracy, he is singing all of these songs. So this was the explanation of this chapter. Let us come on to the exercise and the question answers. Coming on to the question answers of the poem For You, O Democracy, making connections. First question is, the speaker is an American here. What does he promise to do for America? Use the meanings of the three adjectives he uses in the first stanza to answer the question. Okay, so the speaker promises to make the continent of America indissoluble, which means he wants to make the place that has no end, that is, without any end. He wishes to transform from America into a magnetic land, that is, a place which is powerful and attractive. He also promises to make the Americans the most splendid of all the races that ever were. Second question, why does the speaker repeat a few lines in the poem? What do you think is the significance of those lines in the poem? The speaker repeats a few lines in the poem time and again in order to emphasize their importance. Through the poem, the poet envisages building a democratic nation. Democracy talks about love for every comrade, and hence he repeats these lines to make their significance in the origin and continuing life of the democracy. Question third, read these lines and answer the following questions. Question A, to whom does the speakers, come, I will make the continent indissoluble. First is, to whom does the speaker say this? So the speaker addresses this poem to the people of America. What does the speaker promise? The speaker promises to make the continent of America a land which will be without any boundaries or end. What does the speaker want something in return from these he calls out to? The speaker specifies that in order to achieve what he wants to, all that he needs is the love of his comrades, of the people of America. Question B, I will plant companionship thick as trees along all the rivers of America and along the shores of the Great Lakes and all over the barriers. I will make inseparable cities with their arms about each other's neck. What does he compare companionship to in the first line? Why does he make this comparison? So I will plant coming on here. The speaker compares companionship to the brotherhood of the trees that grow along the rivers of America, the shores of lakes, and also all over the barriers. He makes this comparison because he wants to emphasize upon something which is inevitable, like the everlasting trees that stand together strong and resolute against all the hardships. The people of America too will stand together to overcome all obstacles in their paths to greatness. Question number second, what is the meaning of the word barriers? So the North American grasslands are referred to as barriers. What does he compare cities to? How is this comparison achieved? So the speaker says that he will make the cities of America inseparable, almost as if they had their arms around one another's necks. This is probably an allusion to conjoined and inseparable twins. The speaker says that they will be as inseparable as comrades, as men who are ready to put their lives on line for each other and for cause they believe in. Question number 4, describe the speaker's dream in your own words. So the speaker's dreams of making an America a land without boundaries, Americans, the most splendid of all the races, and his motherland, a place of beauty and magnetism. He dreams of achieving these goals with the love of his comrades. his countrymen, since in the end he hopes to establish democracy, which can only be achieved if all his countrymen love one another. He dreams of universal democracy, one that will be based on strong bonds of brotherhood and companionship. Like tall and strong trees, companionship too will take deep roots among all comrades who must stand together to create a great democratic nation. Fifth question: why does the speaker refer to democracy as ma femme? So, ma femme is a French phrase which means one's better half. The speaker terms democracy as his better half, as democracy has been his living lifelong dream and muse. All his actions and passions are directed towards it, and it is for this reason that he refers to as ma femme. Last question: justify the title of the poem with a brief analysis of the rest of the poem. So the title of the poem is For You, or Democracy, which evidently suggests that the speaker dreams of a great and glorious democracy where freedom, responsibility, and equal rights will be guaranteed to all. Democracy guarantees equality for all, and this can be achieved only by fostering feelings of love and brotherhood among his countrymen, and this is why he keeps emphasizing the words by love of comrades. He talks about planting companionship like trees that grow old on the barriers by great lakes and the rivers of America. And in the last stanza, he says that he is doing all of this only for democracy. He personifies democracy as his better half. Thus, the title of the poem is justified. With this, the chapter is over, and I hope that you all have understood. I will see you all in my next video with the last chapter of this book, that is chapter number 10. I mean, that is not the last chapter, but since it is the last chapter of our annual term syllabus. So I'll see you all in my next video. Till then, take care and keep studying. Thank you. Have a good day.